Betty Rock, does the name Lonnie Frisbee mean anything to you?
Not really.
Well, it didn't to me either until I saw the new Erwin Brothers film, Jesus Revolution. It's that one that's like faith-based, and it's not the usual like faith-based film. Yes, it's a movie that tells the faith story of Pastor Greg Laurie after meeting this hippie preacher named Lonnie Frisbee. And what's cool is it's kind of all true. It was set in the 60s and 70s during the Jesus movement. And I'm telling you, Rock, you would absolutely love the soundtrack. It's really good. Your dad raised you on that stuff.
What did you like about the movie?
I like that the movie's about a guy searching for identity and inclusion and truth. And even though it's set in the 70s, man, it's exactly what people are looking for today. And the answer is Jesus. It's the same then as it is now. And I also really liked that it didn't paint a perfect picture of the church either.
Really?
Yeah, like it showed men's egos kind of getting in the way of God, and it showed the intolerance of people inside of faith. But it also showed that despite that, if we just get out of the way, revival is possible.
So what did you not like about the movie?
That I wasn't in it. Like that bothered me a little bit. I got to tell you, the Irwins, they cast Kelsey Grammer, and he's great. They got Jesus from The Chosen. I mean, that's a great get, but they could have had me for a whole lot less. But in the end, man, I really thought it was a great movie.
If you want to check it out and hopefully enjoy it as much as Wally did, it's in theaters right now.
Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast, all the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. There was a really sad story, man. Like, it's sad for a couple reasons. One, you've got this person, this kid who's 17 and broken and messed up, and so you feel for them on that level. But then when they do something that hurts other people, you're like, well, I have a little less compassion for you and more for the people that you've hurt. Like, he was at school getting patted down, and as he's getting patted down, he pulls a gun and he shoots two of the faculty members. They are not killed, which is a blessing, by the way. He runs off and I guess takes his own life because they find his body, a couple hours later. But what's really sad as you dig into more of the story, the reason he was being patted down was because there have been past behavioral issues. So they've already got this student that they know is a problem. They still bring him into school to the point where they are patting him down for weapons or what have you. And that puts the faculty, obviously, at risk. Mm-hmm. And they have to do this because it's the law and it's school. We got to treat everybody fairly. Everybody has to have the right to go to school and things like that. Mm-hmm. And this kid is dangerous. And so now you have two people that are going to be ultimately scarred from this. This kid's family is a mess, because they lost their son, and everybody loses in this scenario, all in the sake of like safety, or not safety or equality for the kid. And to me, I'm like, you know what? There are some kids that shouldn't be in school. They have behavioral issues. Look at the 6-year-old that shot his teacher. She's still recovering, is still a mess. And his parents had to be at school with him because his behavior was such a detriment to the people around him and the kids around him. It's like, at some point in time, man, you got to say, I know this is bad for you. I get it. And it's horrible. I feel bad for you. We cannot have your student around other students. I know it doesn't seem fair, and life's not fair. And you can't do this. I have a friend of mine that's in our small group. She's a teacher. She had to basically welcome back a kid into school that had made a bunch of threats and was violent. And because in the schools in this area, do you know they have padded rooms?
Yeah,
I did not know that.
I have a friend who is a 5th grade teacher, and she had to put one of her students in a padded room.
Yeah, and
he wouldn't calm down,
like a confinement, like a solitary confinement type situation.
When they can't get that kid under control, they put them in there
so they don't hurt themselves or someone else. But I mean, like, that's the place we've gotten to in this world with our kids. And and I don't know how much of it is okay. Some of it is broken and they're damaged neurologically and psychologically. And it's like, okay, they're going to have to be kept out. I mean, you want to treat kids normally as you can,
but then what's the solution?
That family has to deal with that. And that family has to deal with him on a one-to-one basis, private tutor, homeschool, whatever. If you can't homeschool him, because he's like dangerous, don't put him in somebody else's world,
Is there some kind of compromise where it's like maybe there's a school that's for kids like this where they are not allowed certain things. I don't know. It's kind of like juvenile,
right?
Yeah. But they can't.
That was how Australia started. It was a penal colony,
but they can go home at the end of the day, whereas juveniles can't.
But with that comes more like, that probably would need to be like a government funded situation. And that's just another thing where you'd probably have to have that throughout,
I know they do have schools
states.
for problem kids, but I don't know to what level.
Yeah.
Like it is, like how much violence. Like we have one here in Franklin.
But I would say if one is having to be patted down every day, that would qualify.
Yeah, absolutely, that would. And this lady had to go to work, had to go to school, her job, and she was nervous. She was scared that something bad could happen to her, and she has no choice. It's like the school says, no, you have to do this. You have to teach him, and he's violent. Well, no.
And then it comes down to the public schools are going to end up just being troubled kids that are violent and the ones that can't afford to do anything more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the single family homes where
it's hard.
The single parent homes where it's like the mom is the only one that's raising these kids and she can't stay home and homeschool them. So it's going to come down to that. And then the ones that are just the kids that, don't have any issues or they have both parents at home, they're going to end up being the ones that are homeschooled.
Yeah.
Those parents will have to pay.
Them out, yeah. I know it's a hard situation, but you're also not looking at, this is not the majority of people that have the problems. It's the minority.
It's one kid.
Yeah, you have to at that point figure something else out, because it's so funny, man. My daughter was in 4th grade and one of the students got violent and they pull all the other students out of the room and then they just deal with this one student in the room and they're like, we don't want to remove him from the environment because it might be traumatic for him. Like, no, you grab him by the shirt and you drag him down to the office and you're like, hey, we're not doing this anymore. You're in 4th grade. I'm not putting up with your garbage,
Well, there is I think it was in Louisiana, I saw this video that was, they started realizing that their school was one of the most violent schools that was in the U.S. And so what they did was they got a group of dads.
I remember this.
Oh,
yes.
And they would be doing like patrol.
The dad patrol, yeah.
And they weren't carrying any kind of weapons with them, but they were just hanging out in the hallway, talking to the students and making sure they got to where they needed to. And then they interviewed the students and they're like, it made a world of difference because I felt safer. Yeah. I also felt seen and heard. So, I mean,
it's like serious adult presence without the absolute, because I feel like if you see like an armed guard at a school, like you're going to feel on edge. Like as a kid, you're going to feel on edge.
But if you see like a dad walking around and dads too, like with age, you get more confidence and you can walk up to a kid that might be troubled and you can be like, listen, let's talk about what's going on. Whereas another kid that's younger and in a similar situation may not feel as comfortable going up to that kid.
Right.
And so that might be something that all schools need to adapt is like these dads stepping up and
the Dad Bod Squad. That's what they should call it. Dad Bod Squad.
That might have been what they did call it.
Yeah, I don't know. But you're right. There is something about having some age on you, having some wisdom on you, and also having compassion. Like you have to be somebody that is sensitive, but then also will throw down if you had to, and could hold somebody down if things got crazy, But you're right. The results of that were startlingly good in that experiment.
Yeah, they drastically saw a difference in the violence at that school.
There was another one that did this with older people on the corners in a very violent neighborhood, and they had like grandmothers and grandpas hanging out on the corners, and it reduced the violence. There is something that, maybe there's a little bit of respect. We don't think there's a lot of respect for the older age, but like if I was to, okay, I'm 54 years old. How old is your dad? How old is Danny Ray?
68.
68? Okay. If I'm hanging out with Danny Ray, he is the elder father, and I would acquiesce to Danny Ray.
As you should.
Absolutely. I'm afraid of Danny Ray.
Even if you were the same age.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I'd end up in the trunk somewhere, and
he's
things would go south.
He's also 6'1".
I know, and so
Dad's that tall.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and he's a mountain
terrifying.
of a man, and so I would be like, hey, you win, sir. And so I would
size
respect
11
that.
shoe.
Yeah, I would respect that, man. Absolutely.
I've never had just thinking of I've never had a friend, like a really close friend that ended up being like my little friend, my little guy, like a short friend. I've always been the
right.
Oh, you've
been the short friend, yeah. Oh, me too. Like I've never
Same.
been in the back row of a photo, like always in the front row and always the little guy. Hey, little guy, what's going on, champ?
How tall is your mom?
She's 5'1". She's a foot.
They're a foot difference.
Shorter,
Yeah.
and when he hugs her, she goes straight into his armpit.
Yeah.
She doesn't like that.
Same with Zach Williams. Oh, I hate that. I hate hugging Zach Williams.
He's a tall
Why do you hug
man.
him then?
Oh, he likes.
That's a better question.
Yeah.
Why are you hugging Zach
It's the
Williams?
Nashville bro hug thing. Like, hey, what's up, bro? And
Is
then you're
it?
like face first into chest hair. It's like,
Ew,
okay, hey, a button wouldn't kill you here, Zach. Let's zip it on up, okay? What are you trying to prove? Use all the buttons on the shirt. That's the reason they put them on there.
Wow.
All right, this is another story too that I thought was interesting. You know how we had been speculating over the divorce with Tom Brady and Giselle Bundchen. I never can say her name. Well, she's actually kind of talking about it for once in an interview with Vanity Fair. She said that she opened up about how she denied the hurtful rumors that Brady's off again and on again retirement from football was the root of their dissolution. Because that's one thing that was a theory, and then we all talked about it too. And she was like, no, that's not the case. I became someone that loves football. I was at all the games. And I'm rooting for him. I was then. I'm still rooting for him to do well and to play. So she's like, that had nothing. Said that wasn't the big thing. She said, if there's one person I want to be happiest in the world, it's him. Believe me, I want him to achieve and conquer. Divorce is one piece of a much bigger puzzle, and it isn't black and white. And then there's also rumors about she had a relationship with one of Brady's friends, and she's like, I have zero relationship with him in any way. He's Tom's friend, not my friend. I wouldn't be his friend, And so she says it's tough because you imagine your life going in a certain way, and you did everything you could. However, you see the relationship change over time, and you realize that you want different things. And it doesn't make you or him a bad person. It just means that in order for you to be authentic and truly live the life that's for you and that you want, sometimes you can't meet in the middle. And so, yeah, they just kind of went different directions. But they have kids together, which is sad. I hate divorce for families and for kids because they, no matter how many times you say, it's not you, it's not you, it's not you, it still affects them, you know, and they still got to walk through it and stuff. And so that's hard. But anyway, at least she opened up a little bit about it and maybe squash some of the Twitter rumors,
Yeah.
Lady Rock, what do you got?
Have you ever watched an action film and caught yourself thinking, man, this guy just won't die?
Yes, all of them.
But yet you still will go and
it's
you
the
watch
point of
them.
an action movie.
Exactly. And like the
He's
fight
the unkillable
scenes
character.
where they fight and they punch each other 55 times, it's so unreal.
It is.
It's not, no one gets hit with bare knuckles that many times. It's like, all right, let's keep this going. Like, it's like usually 2 hits, you getting hit in the face and then you hit in the ground. Like, that's how it works. That's how I fight.
Well, I found this article that listed the toughest movie characters to kill off. And I want to see if y'all agree with the top 3.
Mm-hmm.
So coming in at number 3 was Indiana Jones. Let me tell you some of the things
I thought it was gonna
in his adventures that he has faced.
I really thought number 3 was going to be Stuart Little. He is so hard to kill off, that little mouse.
Oh my goodness.
You'd think it'd be easier.
Yeah, but you can't kill him. All right, so Indiana Jones.
All
yes.
right, Indiana Jones. In his many adventures, the dude has escaped poison blow darts.
That's true.
Spike pits.
Yep.
A hurtling boulder,
Yep.
a viper-filled chamber, jumping out of a plane in an inflatable raft,
Oh, that one was really hard to believe.
but fights off a bunch of Nazis and survives a nuclear explosion.
Wasn't he hiding in a fridge for that?
Oh, maybe.
What in the world?
My favorite moment of Indiana Jones, though, it's like he's been fighting this 15 people, and he finally gets down in the crowd parts, and there's one guy. This guy has this sword. He does all the sword play, and Indiana Jones is like, "All right, here we go." And then he realizes, "Oh, I have a gun," and he shoots him. And you're like, "Oh, that was kind of funny."
Very American.
Yeah, very, very American.
Number 2 is James Bond.
Yes, he will not die.
You can't kill that man.
In his 26 films,
26.
yes, this man has dealt with a lot. He's been shot with a high velocity sniper rifle
Sure.
While aboard a moving train, then falling hundreds of feet into the river below.
Yeah, I've heard you're not supposed to jump into water from a certain height.
Oh, yeah, because it's like hitting concrete.
He did and lived to tell about it.
Of course he did.
He's been poisoned. He's had his skull drilled.
Mm-hmm.
He flatlined his own heart and only restarted it with sheer willpower.
Nice.
Which it's true. Like you think,
wait,
you think
what?
like Hallmark films are ridiculous
Yeah.
for women, when you really dive down deep into it, action films are
it's
just as
like,
ridiculous.
James, come back, we need you.
Yeah.
He was almost drowned a couple times. Like the I'm thinking of the more recent one with Daniel Craig. There was one torture scene where he was hit mercilessly in the groin.
Tough to come back from.
Yeah, and he just took it. He was like, okay, is that all you got? Like, no, that would be enough. That would be...
You'd be throwing up on the floor.
Absolutely.
I'd rather have so many things
You would.
He got hit so hard with
then
this
you
thing.
would die from choking on your own throw up.
Yeah, like if like you could literally flick me and I'd be like, I'm dead.
You pulled a Band-Aid off yesterday.
And he's sitting there like, hit the other one.
Yeah, that was so bad.
And finally, coming in at number 1
Gotta
is
be
John Wick.
Wick.
Of course.
Has to be.
He has been shot. He has been hit with a metal pipe multiple times. He's been thrown down many sets of stairs. He's been shot 12 times with a bulletproof vest.
Yeah.
He's been stabbed 6 times, strangled 6 times, and also hit by a car
His finger
5
was cut
times.
off, too.
He cut off his
Finger
own
cut off.
finger.
Yeah, he cut off his finger.
Off his own-
He did to prove
his value to the whatever evil bad guy organization.
I thought it was about a dog.
That started that way.
That's how it starts. Don't touch his animals.
I saw a 60-second review or a 60-second like tutorial on John Wick by John Wick the other day, and so Keanu Reeves is doing it. And it was actually kind of funny. Like he's getting you caught up with everything preparing for John Wick 4, and like the things you're like, really, that was the plot point? Okay, and he's kind of making fun of it as he goes. So it was kind of endearing. You're like, okay, good. At least you see it.
They created a cool world that has like all of these like nonsensical things, but they just said lean into it. It's not like one where you're like, that's too unbelievable. You're like, yeah, this is a world meant to be unbelievable.
Yeah, like the syndicate for all the assassins where they have the safe place that they can all go and not kill each other.
Or like all the homeless people are actually their own organization.
Yeah.
That just sounds ridiculous.
Fishbane.
Yeah, it's rough.
Yet y'all go and watch them.
Every time.
I'll be there this
huge
weekend.
box office hits.
Yeah, I wonder what's else is coming out this weekend. I was telling my wife because we still have Movie Pass or not Movie Pass,
AMC.
A-List, yeah. And so I was like, oh, we should go see something this weekend, but I don't know what's coming out.
John Wick.
Yeah, she's not going to want to see that.
No, I know.
I'm looking to see now playing.
Shazam coming out.
She wants to see that.
Shazam?
Yes.
I've never seen the first one.
The first one wasn't bad. Like I like.
It was kind of funny.
What's his name?
Zachary Levi.
Zachary Levi. And I met him from Underdog. We did an interview with him. He was so nice, man. Like him and Kurt Warner both were such a great interview. But. Yeah, the Shazam, the second one, doesn't look that great to me. And then, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on with her. So we're watching this one movie and the trailer for it, and at the end we always look at each other and go, nope, or yeah, I'd see that. And this one trailer, I look at her and I'm like, nope, and she's like, oh, definitely. I'm like, what? And it was for Dungeons and Dragons.
No,
she wants to see that movie.
What?
I'm a massive nerd. I think that looks awful.
Oh, good, because it does look awful.
I don't think that one looks good.
It will not be good.
It's like too big of a cast too for such a bad looking movie.
Yeah.
I'm still looking. Okay, so John Wick Chapter 4 comes out.
I can't believe we're on the 4th one.
Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Yeah.
Fury of the Gods.
Creed 3.
I saw that.
I still need to see that.
Decent boxing movie.
65, that's been out.
Bad
Solid,
dinosaur movie?
horrible, bad dinosaur movie.
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
still.
Never gonna see that.
Cocaine Bear.
I'm not gonna see that, but it's just weird enough that you're like, well,
Puss in Boots, The Last Wish.
that's still out.
Kids movies stay like in theaters forever.
That's crazy.
a new one called A Good Person. That's got,
I don't know.
what's his face that plays God and Bruce Almighty in it.
Oh, Morgan Freeman?
Yeah.
He doesn't do a lot these days.
No,
The School of Magical Animals. I have no idea what
I'll
that
be
is.
there.
I know you will.
And that's it.
Wow, that's bleak. Okay, well, we'll do something else this weekend.
Yeah.
But not John Wick 4.
No, not John Wick 4.
Sorry.
That's gonna be bad though. Like, there's no way that's a good movie.
But this just
John
goes
Wick
back.
4? You don't
Yeah,
think?
no.
Wait, have you not liked the last like few?
No, I saw John
Or
Wick
those-
3, and that was the one that had like 800 like head kill shots. It was just so much, and it was like, and it's just like, okay, it's just enough.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, it's enough. For
Bummed
me.
to hear that for you.
Yeah, it's
But
enough.
this just goes to prove my opinion on action films, because to me, and also superhero films, they are so unbelievably
Yeah,
unbelievable
That's awesome.
in general that I just can't get past that, and so it's not enjoyable to me.
I get that. They have to be somewhat plausible for me to enjoy them.
Yeah.
Like the minute it steps out of like when it gets like, I can go for a little bit of like, okay, that really wouldn't happen, but then the minute it gets so far out of proportion, then I'm out. Like even Dear Evan Hansen, I watched that on a plane. We were talking about that. The new Natalie Grant song that we're playing on the show is from that thing. But like the big plot point where this thing is revealed, and if he had just said what his original motivation was, it probably would have ended the conflict of the problem, and it would have been like, oh, you're a really nice guy, versus everyone turning on him, you know. And so to me, I'm like, I struggled with getting through to the end, because then I'm like, oh, now I don't care. You know, I don't care what happens to you.
Yet you still liked that Jurassic Park, the newest movie.
So good.
And you couldn't get past that.
Best dinosaur movie ever.
No, you said the best movie ever.
Yeah. So
We did not.
do you have any birthdays?
I do.
Oh, let's do this.
Alex is celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Alex. Alex said, I'm a longtime potty from the Bahamas.
Nice.
Listening keeps
Very
me
cool.
sane while I work as a stay-at-home mom.
Nice.
That's a tough job.
The Bahamas.
Bahama Mama.
Her question is, you've traveled a lot for charity work with the station, but if money and flight time weren't an option,
Sure.
where would you most want to go on a mission trip?
Oh, on a mission trip. Oh, that's interesting. I mean, it's so hard for me. Like Africa is a place that I love. Like all the countries I've been to throughout Africa, I absolutely love. I love the people. I like the experience, and it's a long, hard way to get there. It would be interesting to do something like on like the South Pole or someplace like where people live, like very few people live. Yeah, that would be super interesting to do. And a lot of times people that live there are either like Inuit, or they're native to that area, or like scientists and researchers, you know, who would be like, you know, I don't know if I believe in this whole God stuff, but then it's like you're looking up and seeing like the Aurora Borealis. Well, I don't know if you see that from the south or not, probably the north. But like you see like handiwork of God, and like how do you just set that aside? You know, I'd like to have those conversations for sure.
So you would choose like
South Pole.
Antarctica?
Yeah, Antarctica. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You don't see a lot of those listed on like church boards or
Yeah, and it's a long trip to get down there too. Yeah.
You don't like being cold.
I don't. But I also watched Life Below Zero. This is about like the Arctic Circle, and so that's a fascinating thing, and how people choose to live, how the natives live there still. It's fascinating.
Talk about
to
off
me.
grid.
Yeah, and in like Alaska and all these areas up like that, there's massive like alcohol problems and things like that. Because of the isolation and the darkness and the way people live and the culture, and so it's a place that definitely needs hope, you know. So that's what my answer would be. Lady Rock, I know you hate to travel.
I do, but
She's like, would Brentwood be too far? Like,
Right.
that's 20 minutes, Rock.
right, exactly.
But they need Jesus up there
That's
too.
true. That's true. I would go somewhere where, let's be honest, I could also make a trip out of it at the end, where it's like for me. So I would either do Alaska or I would do like England
I love England.
or like Greenland or Iceland.
Oh, okay.
Iceland, probably.
I've
not
still
Greenland.
yeah, Iceland is the one you want to go to.
Scotland.
Yeah, there's a lot of places. You book them, go do it,
It'd be so fun.
experience it. Yeah, there's a lot of places.
But this
like
is
that I
for
wanna
mission.
go.
Once again, you can find lost people everywhere. So
was
I would do the Lord's work, but then after that, I would have a
Have a
trip
little
for
bit
myself.
of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was trying to think through, because I was thinking through like kind of like your traditional places, because when I think of those places, I don't think of mission trips, because I'd love to go to all those places. I've always heard good things about Mexico in terms of like mission work that goes.
Sure.
I've heard bad things about Mexico.
yeah, like you disappear.
And what happens down there, I've heard bad things about. But I have a friend who is like a full-time missionary down there, and just has like a million great things to say about
Sure.
the culture that it is to be down there. And it's probably the language I would have the most ability to learn as well, to like learn Spanish.
Because you've seen Encanto.
Encanto, Coco.
Yeah, it's like, I'm ready to go. Send me, Lord. Here am I, your servant.
I'm the closest one to his former high school AP Spanish class. I've got Duolingo downloaded on my phone.
That's funny.
I think it's Duolingo. I don't remember.
Yeah.
That'd be it though.
There you go. All right. Well, Betty Rock really only going on the mission trip so that she can have a vacation. Gavin and
Being
I
honest.
ready to do the Lord's work.
Oh,
so,
please.
Yeah. There you go. All right. Well, that's going to do it for your Aftercast for today. And we'll do this again tomorrow for the Friday Weekend Plans edition.
Woo.